Hello, welcome to this exercise and this video about determining your values. And your values are very important because this will determine where your subconscious and conscious mind will be determined and what it will consider that is missing or it will consider that you perceive. And what we perceive as most missing, like our voids, is what we actually becomes that we perceive as most important and value. So when we value something very much, it's where we focus and we make it a priority in our daily life. And guess what? Without even realizing that we really do act on it, because nobody has to remind us about it, because it's just a priority, a natural urge from our mind and from our emotion in order to act physically. And this happens to be in congruency with our mind, our thoughts, and our heart, our emotions. So life gets much more easier. And we are here because this determination of values procedure help us a lot to see how we will deal with a challenge, either health challenge, professional challenge, relationship challenge, financial challenge, or whatever other challenge, nature of challenge there might be. And it will give us the specific solution congruent to us when it is specifically focused and concentrated on our values. Are you ready? This will also help to deal with treating and overcoming chronic stress and chronic pain very, very easily. So take your notepad and a pen and let's get act on it. And you can keep some notes, and then I will give you also a link in order to do this amazing exercise that will highlight a lot about your daily habits and your focus. So your most important value, it will be the higher on your hierarchy of values. And there you will show again, as we said before, the more discipline and order, and you will have everything around your life associated with it or relevant to it. And also the other people will be easier to recognize that you are really a person that really acts on these specific values and priorities. It will be very enlightening. And the less important a value to the lowest it will be on your hierarchy of values, and the less discipline and the more disorder you will have associated with it. So therefore this happens to me quite often, and you can relate also with this example that I tell you, is people come to me in order to do like a fitness program, and the people who have higher value about their health, their self-respect and self-love regarding their exercise. So exercise will be very easy for them to put them in their daily agenda. But if they don't have a high value of their health or self-care, so their exercise will be at a lowest point of their values, so they will not be great motivation, even if they try so, in order to practice it daily. And you might either get a coach who can keep you accountable, but again, you need to have it on a higher level of your values in order to get the results, because even with a coach, you might not have the results required by the coach or by your health challenge, and therefore you will be in that conflict that it is the fault of the coach, while in fact, because it's not a high priority value on your priorities, you don't really pay much respect and attention, you don't pay a lot of focus, you don't take responsibility to what the coach tells you, and you don't really take responsibility and accountability to really act and in order to heal either your chronic pain, your chronic stress, and your health challenge. And then there will be like a resistant issue coming from your inner world to your outer reality. And in that point, you will accuse other people, other situations, while what it really matters is to act on it and place it on your high priority of your values. And the responsibility of a good coach, like we work together, is to really make that determination of your values, so you have this enlightenment and highlight what are your priorities, because your values and priorities will usually change maybe every 4 to 6 months. If you remember yourself, 4 months or 6 months before, you were not possibly the same person if you do really do other exercise, personal work, or even in your work performance. While when you don't really do any kind of development and self-care routines, you might see that maybe you're stagnant and in the same position. For example, if you play golf and if you really practice, by the end of the 4 months, you should have seen some kind of improvement. Otherwise, there is, as we said, an issue on your health and your values priorities that this exercise will offer you the chance to highlight it. Therefore, so when you live, as we said, according to your highest values, you will become inspired and awoken genius with no effort. When you live according to your lower values, you will require continuous outside motivation and effort, and you will really suppress your genius, or your mindset won't work very much. It will be a struggle, an internal actually conflict and struggle, and more pain will be recreated. If you have a chronic pain, more stress will be recreated. If you have a chronic stress, more resistance and problems will be recreated in your relationships on various aspects of your life. And your present purpose or mission for life will reflect your highest values. If you have a higher purpose, if you have a mission, if not, and you would like to discover it, it's very easy to see what you do daily in your life. If not, if you cannot recognize very easily, please come back to me and we can determine that as well. And although determining your values can be really practical and useful in your daily reality, and to recognize what you're doing also yourself, nothing really is void or missing in the first place, because everything you need and everything you really ask for is in front of your reality, and it's just in front of your nose or your practical activities daily. But when you really, through this exercise, you realize what are your priorities of your values and what it might be missing, it will become directly very important. So this is why our private voids will give a rise to our public values. These are really relevant and direct correlating to each other. So you will fulfill a void and value through either a perception or an action. Therefore, as I write in my book that I published this month, there is an exercise entitled How to Find Your Highest Value in Life. And when I first did this exercise, I found out which of the things that I was doing and talking about the most, spending money on, spending energy, spending time, were important. And this reminded me what was really my mission and what my daily energy expenditure were focusing on. And that for me was coaching and healing, traveling, and wheelchair rugby and independence. I'm sure that you recognize some of these priorities as you know me, if you know me very well, and we have a very frequent contact. And it was a really surprise when I reflected that most of my time, income, work, and hobbies and discussions were mostly about those kind of priorities. I was investing a lot of my energy in these priorities, especially the top 3, and they were the main activities that really led my life to thrive, and I was very happy and fulfilled. And I was much more focused on these activities than others that I thought I wanted, but in reality my daily activities didn't really show evidence or showing that I was acting on. And my actions were really speaking more than my words. So my to-do list and most of my time were really focused about those kind of priorities. What does your to-do list look like, really? Have a look. And so therefore also I have done and I went through this same exercise, and then I try to test myself as whether what I say is congruent to what I actually do. For example, if I want to have a relationship but I don't see it in my top 3 priorities, that means that even if I do talk about it, my actions don't really show that I act about it. And this is very enlightening in order to see if I really want that, and I must really work again on my values and implement it with actions to put it on my top 3 actions and values, or I really have to make an inner discussion and be honest and put my ego aside and my resistance and really say that no, I'm not really interested, so I play a fair game and I am congruent and integrate with myself. This also leads to health and lower stressing. So it's better to admit yes to yourself and to be honest and realistic with what you really say that you want to do, but actually you don't act on that. Therefore, that we change some of your priorities. This will make it much easier to determine and also follow, for example, a fitness routine that really supports your daily actions and daily values for your targets. And this is very challenging for quite a lot of people to achieve, just because there is quite of resistance and not recognition of what are the priorities and the values. And it's not really shame or to feel guilt about, it's just to do the internal reality check. Now you see, and then you will see it really clearly why. So this exercise that I will give you and do also on your own, because it's very easy and it will be much more easier to do it personally with yourself, instead of having me in front of you, challenge you and resisting to me and having your ego coming in the conversation, discussing about all other things unnecessary. But when you do it on your own, you are really focused and you keep yourself accountable. So the best way to create your global effect and decrease your chronic stress and your chronic pain is to see what your actions up till today tell you, and from there to get into in a discussion with your own self. Is this really where I say that I'm going? And is this really what I'm doing that I mean? And I'm actually doing this in my actions daily. And here is the moment of the reality check, and just be honest and be afraid. When we do this exercise, it will be in much deeper detail. And I see it also when I coach clients, that they accept to do this test, because there are the people that don't want to face their reality and they don't do the tests. And that's also the first check to see if a client will have results. Or if the client accuses the coach about not getting his results because he doesn't act on his own. And this is an overall plan where their fitness program or their nutritional plan, their lifestyle habits and adaptations, and their all to-do list can fall into place easily. Then you will also get more engaged with inspiration for your target when you engage yourself in a coaching program. And your life will have much more meaning, and you will get up in the morning much more full of energy and fulfilled to go and act on things that really inspire you and you value, without resistance and without putting much more pain on your health. This is a really transformational exercise, and I congratulate you for taking this great leap about yourself. You can do it with you, or you can do it with a partner that is, though, at the same level of your awareness and fun and excitement. And actually this exercise is very useful about couples, because sometimes in relationships we want to change the other person, rather ignoring his values and his priorities. When we really recognize what are really our values and we see the reality And when also our partner does the same exercise and the partner sees and we see his values, it will be much more easier to communicate with fairness and play well the game of our communication. So the moment that we try to communicate to the other people his values in response to our values as well, then we have very fluent and clear and fair and win-win relationships. Therefore, I invite you to go to the site drdemartini.com, determination values. You can either Google it, where you will create your own account and you will make very easily the exercises and the questions. It's about 13 questions that you're asked on your values, and you will create at the end your own pie chart where you will see where you spent the most time of your time, your money, your energy and your actions, without anyone really reminding you to do about that. I invite you to do that and let me know what was your report. You can either send me like a screenshot from your mobile, or write it down, or send me by email your replies. Or also we can assess it the next time that we will meet in our coaching session. Enjoy it, have fun, and be courageous to determine your values, and I congratulate you for taking this great action for your better health quality.